guys, Filthy here, trying to show you how to beat Chosen. So this fight is against Chosen plus a champion. A champion is one of the new additions to the Battle Brothers DLC, Warriors of the North. Same with Chosen. Barbarians are one of the new enemy types, and Chosen themselves are the tier 3 Barbarian variant. And the champion is a new drop that can be a champion of basically any faction. The champions are guaranteed to drop famed items. So Chosen are terrifying. They are one of the big new problems that we have to deal with as a player. They have adrenaline, so they will often act twice. End of the round, they'll go in and hit something, then adrenaline, beginning of the round, attack again. They have a 5 fatigue rotate, which means that they will, and they use it a lot, they use it to focus fire an individual. So they'll rotate, they'll have a Chosen attack one target, then rotate the next guy in to attack that same target, then rotate a third guy in to attack that same target, which is really, really annoying. They have very high armor piercing weapons. Their hammers and spiked maces in particular are terrifying because they will do large amounts of damage to your health pool, even through very heavy armor. And they have crippling strikes. I think executioner as well, but definitely crippling strikes. So they do additional damage to wounded targets. All of this is really nasty. Their armor level is medium. It's not super tanky. Their resolve is pretty good. I think it's around 150. So breaking their resolve really isn't much of a thing you can do. The cleaver variants and the axe variants are a lot less scary than the hammer and mace variants because you can use armor to tank them. And their melee attack and range defense are pretty good. And they have a javelin and axe variant, which is much better than the existing javelin and axe variant, which is fairly scary as well. So overall, just a really nasty enemy. So the things that have worked well for me, Indomitable seems very good versus them with the amount of health damage they're doing. Colossus and Nimble seem fine versus them as well, although not particularly exciting. Nimble seems okay, but the problem with Nimble is building heavy tank brothers with Nimble doesn't really work for most of the other fights. So perhaps having a couple for the Chosen is fine. Megas are doing well still. They often combine large amounts of HP with Colossus and insane melee defense, so sticking them in front of Chosen can be good. They will eventually get hit, and with the amount of wounds Chosen create on you, it's not always ideal to be dealing with that. Stuns are fine versus Chosen, and disarms are very good. Even after the whip nerf, being able to disarm specific Chosen, particularly the high damage ones, is very good. Chosen by themselves are a DPS race in the same way that Orc Warriors or Ancient Undead are. You're going to take some wounds. It's not such a big deal. But Chosen by themselves are not really the big threat. I mean, this fight, you can see we take some wounds. It's a little bit annoying, but we're not in particularly great armor. We don't have particularly great brothers here. We're doing okay, and we just kill them eventually anyways. It's going to be in the larger Chosen fights where they're mixed enemies as well that I'll talk about in a different video that you see just how much of a pain in the ass these units are. All right, so basic strategy. What types of people would you like to bring? Bring hybrids, bring frontliners. Archers aren't very good here. They seem to be fairly tanky and resilient to archer fire. No special abilities for that. They just were wearing decent armor. So your archers are not particularly quick at killing them. Bring whips if you can, and bring megas. Rotate is your friend, positioning is your friend, and be aware that they will adrenaline. There was a bug when they were first released where you couldn't tell if they had an action left or not, so you couldn't predict which ones were going to be using adrenaline, but that has since been changed, so you can play around that a little bit. I've had it suggested to me that backing up a round or two versus Chosen is okay because the programming for them isn't very good, and they will sometimes adrenaline spam even when they're not in range to actually get to you that turn or in range to attack you, so you can fatigue them out a little bit. But one of the issues that you'll run into is they have fairly high fatigue and their abilities don't cost very much fatigue, and they have increased fatigue regeneration, all of which is a problem. And they have drummers, which not shown in this fight, will recharge their fatigue each turn. So I'm not sure fatiguing them out is actually all that relevant as a whole. They are a good source of early game two-handed weapons. I definitely recommend fighting them in small numbers in the early game. If you can find groups that are mostly tier 2 barbarians with a couple Chosen mixed in, they represent an opportunity to gear up. Not so much in armor. Their armor is pretty bad. Even the famed item that dropped here was a famed armor piece that was pretty bad. But the two-handed hammers and maces are quite good, at least to begin with, until you get the player variants of that. It's much more valuable for the computer to puncture armor than it is for the player, because most of the time wounds are something that matters for the player but doesn't matter for the computer, since the computer won't have a second fight if you win that, but your brothers will be disabled for multiple rounds. I haven't had a great solution to avoiding wounds in this fight. It just seems to be you're going to take them as Chosen swing on you, which means that you're not often wanting to take these fights too much, and that there's probably diminishing returns in taking the fights at all, particularly the small groups of Chosen, because after a while you're going to have the weapons and their gear that they drop isn't very valuable. So perhaps just for champions, and then later the massive barbarian camps. Anyways, guys, hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have additional strategies for Chosen above and beyond what I've already talked about, above basically crowd controlling them with stuns or whips, please let me know. I am definitely curious as to how other people are approaching these and the lines of which people have found work versus them. All right, enough talking from me. I'll let the original fight speak for itself. Enjoy. Huger the Pillager. Is that a thing? Is this a name, dude? Does this give us something? Is this worth fighting? Is this a chance of famed items? Okay. Yes, good. All right, we'll fight that then. That's what we're up here for. We're up here for famed items. Okay, so wandering around to get a lot of our stuff repaired. Champion is... I have to 1v1 him? Do I really? I don't think I have to 1v1 him, right? Wait, I have to 1v1 him? Are you sure? Pretty sure 1v1 is only in the camps. So we're going to take this fight and not 1v1 him. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to whip him and whip him good. Do I want to take this as a leveling fight? Maybe. The fuck is this thing? 125 minus 7. Okay. Still some holes in this armor. This is 250-ish. I want Cadium in here. I want these hammers in here. Shit, we don't have quite enough frontline armors right now. Took too much damage off the double groups. Man, we need some better armors, chat. That fact that the last Hedge Knight ran off with his, or didn't run off, that it didn't drop the 300 gear for us is really kind of a blow. $150, 174. Jesus, 174 is not very good. I'm worried I'm just gonna die in 174 armor. Maybe we mod it. Drop like a plus 30 on it. Pretty unexciting. Got nipple tassels now, so plus 30 defense. And now I have one piece of armor remaining. Yeah, the 230 here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, whips and nipple tassels. That's what this group is mostly about. Yeah. No. Don't mind it as a leveling fight on this guy. What did I be missing? Just missing gifted. 66 HP. It hits so hard, it's really unexciting going in with less than full HP. Although 200 is pretty unexciting too. I think like this is how we're going to engage. Have nets. Have disarm. Okay. First champion. Never fought one before. Do we know which one he is? Chosen, Pillager. He's that one. It doesn't look famed. Famed armor? I can't tell. Chains on the armor make it famed? Okay. I can't break his armor, right? It's guaranteed loot, so it doesn't matter if I kill him, right? Hate that. I disarmed him. Why do I not get my turn of disarm? I know what that is. Broken arm. What the fuck? It's a bad one. I don't know that I survived standing here. Like, this is a pretty brutal one. Fucking Daisy buff's pretty bad too. Every one of those rolls like is physically like, oh shit. Oh yeah? Okay, guess that's the thing. Didn't realize how close we were playing with fire there. Could probably die to the fucking punches. You guys like that? I thought that was pretty slick. Okay. What? Where and what is this guy? Oh, he walked from there? Probably dies before he acts. So these guys dish out some serious wounds. Oh. He was holding his turn. And then adrenaline to get 3 extra attacks in. Yes. Could forget. Oh, of course, I don't have the stand to do it. It's dumb. Set myself up, potentially die for no reason. The fact they have enough stamina to adrenaline spam and rotate spam to focus fire people is cheesy as shit. All right, got there, but the one hit on the archer almost killed him, interestingly, and just even the single connection, that's such a nasty wound, a 5 to 7 day wound too. Like, God damn. All right, there's our gear. Is that exciting? $209.24. It seems really heavy. I need to look at that again in a second, but it looks pretty bad.